Hello everybody, this is Dumpster Cat. Welcome back to another rendition of the Tireless testing series. In this one we're going to be up against Mono Red Aggro, a pretty tough matchup in the metagame right now. Although not too popular right now, is a deck and just as an archetype that you do have to be prepared for as a PGX player. In this episode, we are playing the Tireless Trackers. I have kind of come around to the possibility of this card being pretty good in a build where we're trying to play more top end, and so you may have noticed that we are playing the Sky Sovereigns. I do think this card is quite impactful, especially against Rakdos and even Mono Green Devotion, as it takes care of Planeswalkers very efficiently, acts as a X for 1 potential card, and beats the opponent actually quite quickly. And so I really like this card just as of late, and I think that because we are playing 2 5-drops, we do want to play the 25th land, which is going to be the Fabled Passage, just to accommodate the 2 Tireless Trackers in the main and the 1 in the sideboard for those mid-range grindy matchups. Have been liking her so far. Obviously, like, not the most efficient or ideal in some cases. You could definitely play like a Phyrexian Flesh Gorger or just a Briar Bridge Tracker in her place. But I like her especially against Liliana, or alongside Liliana, I should say, and Graveyard Trespasser. I think this combination of 3 drops is just really nice. Just playing 1 Kalidas, 2 Trophy, 2 Decay, 4 Trophy, and then the rest is pretty stock. Obviously going the Grim Flayers alongside the Lilianas and even the Sky Sovereigns. So, hope you enjoy the video, hope you were able to learn something from this Mono Red matchup, and let's get into it. And if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, definitely helps out a lot. Thank you. Alright, so for game 1, we have a pretty nice opening hand. Obviously, knowing that we are up against the Mono Red deck, having access to Fatal Push and Scoos is very nice. However, just in the dark, this is a very keepable open hand, so we're going to keep it. Obviously going to lead on the Hive. Having double Hive is a bit awkward, but I believe that it's okay with the route that our hand is taking us. We do draw a Ranger class, and so seeing the Spikefield Cave, I should say, usually says that it's either going to be just Mono Red or some type of creativity deck. So knowing that they probably have like any sort of red removal spell, we want to get the Wolf token out there instead of the Scavenging Ooze. And so there, we actually opted to push the Soulscar Mage and then not play the Scoos, and instead just level up the Ranger class. Did that mainly just to play around removal. I know that if they're going to be leaving up mana, obviously probably means they have removal, and as a red deck, then it's going to be pretty easy for them to take care of our 2 drops. And so basically just want to get the Scoos out there with some immediate value, being able to get out of it immediately. So the opponent goes Chandra, Dressed to Kill, which is a very, very efficient planeswalker for them, into +1 into Kimano, faces Kakazan. And so pretty eventful turn for them. We draw a Sky Sovereign and just opt to decay the Chandra straight up on our turn, and then play the top lands. They go for a Chain Whirler, which is definitely okay by us, as we're able to play out the Scoos, and then almost go for the Thoughtseize there, but instead I just leave up the Assassin's Trophy, or a Scoos activation if we need to, but mainly just probably the Assassin's Trophy on the Chain Whirler. And so we do see the opponent has a Lightning Strike, so obviously it would have been nice if they had like a Stomp or a Play with Fire instead, so we could play around that. However, just having the Assassin's Trophy for the Goblin Chain Whirler is just going to be the play right here. And so this turn we're really hoping to hit a 3rd untapped land. However, unfortunately we do hit the Blooming Marsh, which hurts just a bit. So we have basically two options here. Obviously going to play the top land, and we could either go Thoughtseize to see their hand, or just level up Ranger class to the 3rd level. I opt to go for the Ranger class, mainly just because Thoughtseizing here is very, very inefficient, and the 2 life is probably just going to be mainly, or largely equivalent, I should say, to whatever burn spells they may have in hand that we may take. So we're just going to level up the Ranger class, play our land, see a land on top, which I suppose isn't the best. However, the opponent has a really, really nice turn of going Chandra, attack, and then I believe deal us 2, or get the lightning strike, so deal us 3 damage. So very, very powerful turn from them. We see a Grimflare on the top, which is alright, but here I do just go for the Sky Sovereign play, taking out the Kumano, the etching of Kumano, and then just pass the turn, hopefully next turn playing out the Grimflare and then being able to crew the Sky Sovereign to just fly into the Chandra, as the Sky Sovereign does have 6 power and will actually just have 7 power with the Ranger class attack. So unfortunately we do have to activate Hive because Grimflare is not delirious. However, we do get a pretty nice turn of, I guess you could actually say that not playing the Grimflare is nice because it plays around Eidolon, but we do have a pretty nice turn here of getting the Hive into a creature, accruing up the Sky Sovereign, killing the Chain Whirler, and then getting rid of the Chandra. So really shows the power of Sky Sovereign in this deck, where oftentimes planeswalkers that offer 2-for-1s for the opponent can be pretty hard to take care of, but Sky Sovereign definitely is really, really nice and really actually surprisingly quite tough to deal with for a lot of decks in the format right now. And so for sideboarding for this matchup, we obviously straight away just want to take out these 4 Thoughtseizes, as they will not be doing anything for us, at least anything good for us, as just their life loss is too much. And then we have some pretty interesting inclusions here. In this particular matchup, I actually brought in the 2 Duresses, brought in, I believe it was the 1 Tear Sunder, as we saw they had access to Kumano, Eidolon of course, and then Tear Sunder can just work well as a flexible removal spell for any planeswalkers that they have, or just any other creatures that we need to be taken care of, that say like a Fatal Push is not able to take care of. And then I believe we bring in one of the extinction events as well, just to take care of the creatures. Tireless Tracker is not very well positioned in this matchup, so you could take her out if you need to, possibly bring in the 2nd extinction event for one of her, but I felt that she was good enough and very nice in the long game if the match gets there. Alright, so for game 2, obviously post-sideboard, we did take out those 4 Thoughtseizes, brought in one of the extinction events, and 1 Tear Sunder, of course. We do have an okay opening hand. Would have loved to see a Fatal Push or a Scooze or Trespasser, but this is definitely okay. We're okay being reactive with these spells in hand against the aggressive deck, as we of course see the Kumano on turn 1. Turn 2, they leave up 2 mana, so one could guess that they probably have like 20 burn spells in their deck, probably even more. And so here we will see that we draw into a Grimflare, and so we do not want to play that out just because it's going to run straight into a removal spell. As we see, they do have a Stomp for that. So definitely like going with that, and then just holding up the Tear Sunder for the Kumano, Etchings of Kumano flip. And so we do draw on our next turn Assassin's Trophy, 2nd Assassin's Trophy. The opponent on their turn 3 went Chandra into a Soulscar Mage, and so pretty impactful turn for them. We can go Liliana Minus here, however, they just have the Chandra Plus that could deal with it, as she'll just be left at 1 loyalty. We could go for Grimflare, but he seems pretty weak right now, as they most likely just have a burn spell in hand. And so we actually just play the Deathcap Blade and then pass, and then on their draw step we actually trophy the Chandra. Just playing very kind of reserved, and obviously doing it on their draw step, as although the effect is very minimal, we want to increase the chances or likelihood that they would draw into a basic land if they weren't able to find one off of the trophy ability. However, obviously against a mono red deck, that's going to be pretty minimal. So we are able to just cleanly get that nice 2-for-1 with the Extinction event. And they are actually just left to activate the Den of the Bugbear and attack into us, which is definitely okay by us. That is definitely a play that is fine. So we play the Grimflayer, as it's just a nice blocker right now. So this attack was really weird. The only card that I could think of was, at least on the spot, was Spikefield Hazard, which would make this block not the best. So I just went for the block. If they have the Spikefield Hazard, so be it. We have a backup Flare. We have Sky Sovereign to go over them, so it's not too big of a deal. However, they did just have the Chain Whirler, so although I probably should have played around that, Chain Whirler is definitely was not on my radar, I guess I should say. And so here we actually opt to go for Trophy onto Den of the Bugbear instead of the Chain Whirler, knowing that we have the Liliana Minus stocked up for the Chain Whirler, and I didn't want things to get too complicated with holding the Trophy, possibly not drawing a 5th land to go Liliana Minus plus hold up Trophy for the Den on our turn 6. And so just want to be very mana efficient there, just get the research out there as efficiently as possible, as we do just draw a second Liliana, but that's fine as we're just able to minus that Chain Whirler away. And so they have an Unlicensed Hearse, which is, broadly not too good against us, but definitely deals with our Flare pretty nicely right now, especially with, we want to be getting to Delirium, so we're able to go Sky Sovereign Crew, or Grimflayer's Crew Sky Sovereign very nicely. However, here, the opponent, as we're in response to plussing Liliana, they do have Lightning Strike for her, which kind of sucks, because we do have to discard the second Liliana in hand, and then go for the Sky Sovereign play, which is not the best, I would say, on this board state, of course, especially considering they have the Hearse for the Grimflayer, but it's fine. So we do go play the Grimflayer, activate Quagmire, and then just go for the Sky Sovereign play, as we're at 8 life, which is stable right now, knowing that they're just top decking, but it's definitely getting a bit low, and they could sequence they could have some pretty scary sequences where they get us to like 2 life or something, and then we're in really bad shape. And even here they have an Eidolon which is able to crew the Hearse and bring us down to 4 life, so we're a bit in tough shape here. Thankfully though, we draw a Scoos, which is just perfect, exactly what we want to draw. And a bit of a, I guess I kind of went through it too quickly though, but a bit of an interesting play there is we went Scoos, we ate the Chain Whirler out of the graveyard, so we're able to crew the Scoos, or crew the Sky Sovereign with the Scoos, attack, leave the Grimflayer to block the Hearse if they have a play like last turn where they went Eidolon, crew Hearse. And then after combat we actually use the Scavenging Ooze to eat the Eidolon out of the graveyard. Doesn't matter too much because mainly I was worried about the Hearse being able to do that and eat the or take the Eidolon out of the graveyard in response to our Scoos. We did have a second green source to mitigate that, but just a little play that oftentimes goes over the radar. And so that was a really nice clean 2 games, and I'll see you for the closure. Alright, so from that match, we definitely saw the power of Sky Sovereign there, at least one time I believe, and then even Extinction Event. I know that this card, you may have noticed we're playing 3 just to accommodate the mono green matchup, but this card is very flexible in the format right now. even just being a nice 2-for-1 at times is pretty much just what we need against these types of aggressive decks or even other mid-range decks. And so I've been really, really high on this card as of late. Same thing with Goblink. I really love this card against especially the Phoenix matchup and just any other mid-range deck. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you were able to learn something. I know it was a bit of a quicker video, but nonetheless, hope you're able to enjoy it and learn something. So see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.